Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about rate problems, which are also sometimes called ratio problems. So in chapter 36, you'll see a problem that says Waldo bought 5 toys for $40. And the question is, what was the rate in dollars per toy, the rate or the ratio? And the second question is, what was the rate or ratio in toys per dollar? Let's go back to the first one. We want to know the rate of dollars per toy. So if we're looking at that, if it's the rate of dollars per toy, then the first one that we come to is dollars. So we're going to put that as the numerator. A rate or ratio can often be written as a fraction. So that's how we're going to do this. So if we're going to put dollars in the numerator, we have to put $40 per, which is this line, per 5 toys. And that would be the rate of all those toys with dollars per toy. We can also look at this problem and we can write the rate as toys per dollar. And if we want to do that, then we need to put the toys in the numerator. That would be 5 toys for $40. Now, whenever we write a rate or a ratio, when we get to this point, we want to simplify this part of the fraction. We want to simplify 40 over 5. And if you remember, when we simplify fractions, we look for something, a common factor that can be divided evenly in both the numerator and the denominator. The number 5 can be divided evenly into both 40 and 5. When we do that, we get 40 divided by 5 is 8. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So that means that this rate becomes $8 for every 1 toy, or $8 per toy, which can also be written as $8 per toy. When we simplify this fraction, we again can divide the top by 5, the numerator by 5, and the denominator by 5. And when we do that, this ratio becomes 1 toy for every $8, which you can write that as 1/8 of a toy per dollar. So that's how you write the two ratios. Well, let's do another one to make sure that you got this. If we said that Marco Polo, this is another problem, and it's actually one of your homework problems. So if you're watching this video, you get a little bonus help with your homework. It said, this is number 5 in problem set 36. It says Marco Polo bought 40 skins for 8 lira. Lira is just another word for a type of money denomination. 40 skins for 8 lira, which is kind of like saying 40 skins for $8. What is the rate in skins per lira, and what is the rate in liras per skin? So we're looking for 2 rates in this problem, 2 rates or ratios. So in this one, skins per lira, we want to put the number of skins on top, 40 skins, and 8 lira on the bottom, 8 lira. For liras per skin, it is the opposite. We want to put 8 liras on top per 40 skins. We aren't quite finished yet because we can simplify this fraction. When you look at 48ths, then you can divide each, the numerator and the denominator, both by 8. 40 divided by 8 is 5, and 8 divided by 8 is 1. So this becomes 5 skins for every 1 lira, which is simply written 5 skins per lira. We go over here and we look at 8 lira per every 40 skins. We can again divide each the numerator and the denominator by 8, which would give us 1 over 5. 1 lira for every 5 skins, which can also be written 1/5 of a lira per skin. So that's how you do those problems. Now we can use this type of ratio to solve other word problems. For example, if we know that 20 apples cost $5, and if the problem is, what will be the cost of 40 apples? How much is 40 apples? How much is the cost of 40 apples? Well, we want to go ahead and write the ratio here. This implies two different ratios or two different rates. We could say 20 apples for every $5. And we could also say $5 for every 20 apples. But we're trying to figure out how much money, how many dollars does 40 apples cost? Well, so we want to pick the one that has dollars in the numerator. We are looking for the number of dollars in our answer, so we want to pick the ratio that has dollars in the numerator, which would be this one. So we're going to use this ratio for our problem. We know that $5 is in a ratio to 20 apples, but we want to know how much 40 apples cost. So we're going to multiply this by 40 apples. And the 40 apples will be in the numerator. Now here's something cool. We already know from working with fractions that we can cancel, which means we can take common factors out of both a numerator and a denominator. For example, we can see that this 40, which is in the numerator, and this 20, both of them have the factor of 20. If we divide 20 by 20, we get 1. If we divide 40 by 20, we get 2. So now we can see that we have 1 on the bottom and 2 on the top. The other thing is, not only do numbers cancel off, but we can also cancel out units. So this was 40 apples. Apples are in the numerator, so we can cross off this apple, and we can cross off this apple in the bottom. And now we can figure out our problem. Now the only thing we have left on the bottom is 1. And on the top we have $5 times 2. Because we still have this 2 right here. 5 times 2 is 10. And the only unit left on top is $10. Is just dollars. So the 10 over 1 is just the same as 10. So the cost of 40 apples is $10. I want to do one more like that so that you have or can be very sure about how you do these problems. We're going to say that Ruth was paid $28 for working 7 hours. She was paid $28 for 7 hours of work. We want to know how much money did she receive? How much money did she receive for working a 40-hour week? Or a 40-hour week. So first we're going to go ahead and look at our two ratios. We can say that Ruth made $28 for 7 hours. We can also flip that around and say that for 7 hours, she made $28. Now, which one of these two ratios do we want to use to figure out this problem? We are looking for how much money she made. So we want to choose the ratio that has dollars in the numerator, which would be this one. And we can go ahead and write $28 over 7 hours. And we're going to multiply that by 40 hours because that's how long she worked. When we multiply that, we can see that we can look and try to find something that a factor that is in the denominator that could also be a factor in the numerator. What I mean by that is we can see that 7 does not go into 40 equally. However, 7 does go into 28 equally. So that means that 7 is a factor of both 28 and 7. So we can divide 28 by 7, which gives us 4. Divide 7 by 7, which gives us 1. Now we can also cross out this hour and this hour, because this one is in the numerator and this one is in the denominator. And what we can see that's left is $4 times 40. So 4 times 40 is $160. And there's only a 1 left. So 160 over 1 is the same as just 160. So that is how we can figure out that how much money Ruth made for working 40 hours.